According to a 2015 mega study, a third of all deaths worldwide are caused by cardiovascular disease. Artery damage is one of the worst offenders. So today, we're exploring the most important supplements scientifically shown to reduce arterial plaques, as well as their best real food counterparts. We'll also uncover important information you should know about the turmeric craze, as well as a compound reported to reduce cardiovascular disease by 15% in one study. You can get this in both food and supplements. But there are serious warnings you need to understand. Plus, we'll also discuss a vital mineral that 57% of people are lacking, which not only affects heart health, but also interferes with nerve function and sleep. Okay, let's kick off with two popular supplements that can be helpful, but can also be very harmful. First up, omega-3. Omega-3 fatty acids are essential, but not all sources are created equal. Omega-3s regulate blood pressure, modulate inflammation, and reduce triglycerides, all important for your heart and arteries. But more on that. Randomized control studies show that omega-3 can reduce the size of atherosclerotic plaques, as well as making them more stable and less likely to rupture. In fact, a 2016 study published in the prestigious journal Nature reported a 15% reduction in heart attacks and strokes with omega-3 supplementation. But here's the catch. Many omega-3 supplements, especially fish oil, can easily go rancid. In fact, multiple studies have found that between 10 and 20% of retail fish oil supplements were rancid. An independent test of 60 major brands found that 1 in 10 samples were completely rancid. Furthermore, nearly half came in just below the limit. Fish oil goes rancid when exposed to air, light, or heat, and this can happen anywhere along the supply chain, from the moment it's extracted to when it's put into capsules at the factory, while it's shipped around the world, and finally while it sits on your local health store shelf. Unless it's a highly trusted fish oil supplier with really good processes along the whole supply chain, you're rolling the dice with fish oil. Now, you might be asking, is rancid fish oil really that bad? Doesn't that mean you just get less benefit? Sadly, no. Just like the popular cooking oils we discuss on this channel, rancid fish oil can cause enormous damage. Rancid oils produce toxic compounds like peroxides, aldehydes, and free radicals. These act like rust, attacking your body from the inside, contributing to heart disease, cancer, and liver damage. Rancid oils also cause artery plaques, ironically making the problem worse instead of fixing it. So, what's the solution? If you want a supplement, consider argan oil. It's a more stable version of omega-3, made from microalgae, similar to seaweed. Surprisingly, it's actually higher in beneficial compounds like DHA, and while it's still prone to oxidation, it's generally more stable than fish oil. Likewise, krill oil is more stable than fish oil due to a naturally occurring antioxidant called astaxanthin. If you're going to use omega-3 oils, buy them in small batches so you're more likely to consume them before they go rancid. If you can, buy oils produced within the last 6 to 12 months. Also, choose ones that come in dark or opaque containers to protect against light exposure, and store them in the refrigerator. Even better, focus on whole food sources, which are exponentially more stable. Eating fatty fish at least once a week is a great option. That's your salmon, Atlantic mackerel, herring, and sardines. For plant-based omega-3, eat plenty of walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds, as well as seaweed, nori, and spirulina. Next, turmeric is having its moment of fame right now, but again, turmeric supplements aren't without their drawbacks. Turmeric is well known for its potent anti-inflammatory properties, which combats artery damage that leads to plaque buildup, as well as easing joint pain associated with arthritis, supporting brain function, and potentially reducing cancer risk. That's all very promising, but problems can arise with extremely high doses of curcumin, the active compound in turmeric. Let's say you take a 2000 mg supplement capsule. That'll contain around 20 times more curcumin than a teaspoon of turmeric spice. The problem here is that such high doses can interfere with iron absorption. In one case study, a 66-year-old physician read the new research and started taking turmeric for osteoarthritis. His iron levels suddenly plummeted and he developed iron deficiency anemia. Fortunately, his iron returned to normal when he stopped taking the supplement. Researchers now believe that curcumin binds to iron in the gut, preventing absorption. And while this effect may be harmless at low levels, extremely high doses can be problematic for some people. So if you're thinking about turmeric supplements, discuss this concern with a healthcare provider that you trust. For most people, using turmeric as a spice is a safer bet. Okay, those are some of the grey areas covered. Now let's talk about the most important vitamin for extracting calcium out of arteries, the unsung hero, vitamin K2. Now you might know that vitamin D is important for calcium absorption, right? But did you know that vitamin K2 is equally important? Actually, it's vital. K2 acts as a director, guiding calcium to where it's needed in your body, your bones and teeth. Without sufficient K2, that calcium ends up in places it shouldn't be, like your arteries. Unfortunately, many people take calcium supplements because they're concerned about weak bones as they get older. A legitimate concern. But you need to consider vitamin K2 as well. As world-leading cardiologist Dr. Jack Wolfson explains in our full-length documentary.
I think one of the biggest tragedies has been the recommendations to load up on calcium, and that's pushed from the government on down to different pharmaceutical manufacturers, and calcium causes calcification. Calcium, when it's unbalanced, leads to that calcium deposition in the coronary arteries and into the arteries themselves, and also leads to constricted blood vessels because calcium causes contraction. What we want to do is we want to make sure that blood vessels are relaxed, and that's why we need to maintain a good balance. But people are out of balance because they're taking the calcium supplements. They're taking acid blockers that are high in calcium, and this leads to calcium overload, and what the literature is showing is that calcification of the vessels. So we want to make sure that if you are taking calcium and you are taking vitamin D, now you've got all this calcium floating around, and it's the vitamin K that puts it where it needs to go. The vitamin K keeps the calcium in the bones and out of the arteries.
This can cause disaster. So where can you find vitamin K2? Unfortunately, it's not abundant in the typical Western diet. One of the best food sources is natto, a traditional Japanese dish made from fermented soybeans. Now, I'll be honest, it's an acquired taste, but it's absolutely packed with K2. Organ meats, especially liver, are also rich in K2. And for the cheese lovers out there, you're in luck, particularly with hard, aged varieties like Gouda, Edam, and Munster. That's because the slow fermenting bacteria produces K2. Pasture-raised eggs and grass-fed beef contain smaller amounts of vitamin K2, making them good but less concentrated sources. Getting your nutrients from food is always the best option. But if that's not possible, well, you're in luck. Multiple studies have demonstrated that vitamin K2 supplementation can significantly improve arterial stiffness, such as the famous Rotterdam study, which associated higher K2 with reduced coronary heart disease risk and lower all-cause mortality, or the breakthrough 2017 clinical trial in Germany, where 99 patients with calcific aortic valve stenosis meaning they had calcium buildup blocking blood flow from the heart, were randomized to receive either vitamin K or a placebo. After 12 months, the results were striking, with the vitamin K group cutting their calcification rate by 50% compared to the placebo group. This suggests that vitamin K supplementation could potentially slow heart valve hardening, even in later stages of disease. Are you finding this useful? If so, please click the like button, and if you haven't already, click subscribe to see more videos as we release them. Okay, at number 3, magnesium is one of the most important minerals for nerve and muscle function. But according to official USDA data, an astonishing 57% of people in the US are deficient. That makes it one of the worst nutrient deficiencies, and it's even more common among older adults. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body. It helps maintain your heart's rhythm, keeps your bones strong, regulates your mood, and ensures proper muscle function. If you're experiencing muscle twitches, cramps, or having trouble sleeping, it might be a sign of low magnesium. So, how can you boost your magnesium? Leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard are excellent sources. Nuts and seeds, especially almonds and pumpkin seeds, are also rich in magnesium. Other good sources include quinoa, black beans, lentils, dark chocolate, and avocados. But here's the kicker. Even if you're eating all the right foods, you still might be deficient. Lifestyle factors like alcohol consumption can disrupt magnesium absorption, and chemicals in processed foods can further deplete magnesium levels in our bodies. Additionally, poor soil quality and pesticide use can reduce magnesium content in foods. Supplementation can help a lot, and is generally considered low risk for most people. But of course, always consult with your healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, especially if you have existing health conditions. When considering supplements, be aware that some forms like magnesium oxide can cause digestive issues, which sends many people straight to the bathroom. Magnesium glycinate tends to be gentler and better absorbed. But again, talk to your healthcare provider first. Many people find taking it at night can have a significant improvement for sleep. Now, it's important to note that many common medications can cause magnesium deficiency. These include diuretics, proton pump inhibitors, certain antibiotics, chemotherapy drugs, and even some heart medications. So if you're taking any of these, you really want to make sure you actually need them, that you're taking the right dosage, and ideally, they should be a temporary solution rather than a lifetime plan, as Dr. Peter Osborne explains in the Heart Disease Code documentary.
And this is the problem with high blood pressure medications. If the doctor's prescribing the medicine without doing diligent lifestyle follow-up with that patient, in other words, talking about diet and lifestyle, then what ends up happening, the longer they're on the medicine, the greater the risk of developing the deficiency. When the deficiency develops, the blood pressure starts to go back up. And when that happens, generally what happens is the doctor prescribes a different class of medication, and so then the person ends up on multiple classes of blood pressure-based medications. I've seen cases where people are on 3 or 4 different classes of blood pressure lowering medication because of this very thing. The first medication caused a CoQ10 deficiency, the second one caused magnesium deficiency, the third one caused calcium deficiency.
So while you should never stop taking medication without medical guidance, it's absolutely crucial to do whatever you can to improve your heart health naturally, so you can then work with your doctor and reduce your dependence on drugs. To give yourself the best shot, sign up for free access to our comprehensive documentary, The Untold Story of Heart Disease, the culmination of years traveling around the world interviewing over 40 heart health experts. Plus, get your free copy of The Surprising Truth About Fat and Cholesterol to help you distinguish fact from fiction and understand what really matters when it comes to heart health. After all, 50% of heart attack victims have what's considered normal cholesterol levels. It's all free and waiting for you right now. Just click the link in the description box or visit heartdiseasecode.com/health. Okay, getting towards the top of our list, at number 2 we have CoQ10. Coenzyme Q10 is a compound naturally produced in your mitochondria. Ideally, your body should produce all the CoQ10 it needs, but as we age, most people struggle to produce enough. This decline accelerates if you're taking drugs like statins, or if you haven't kept up with physical exercise. A major meta-analysis study in the journal Nature found that CoQ10 supplementation not only reduces LDL oxidation, but also extinguishes toxic foam cells, and increased cholesterol clearance from artery walls. All major factors for atherosclerosis heart disease. Now, the best food sources are hearts, livers, kidneys, and brains. So if eating those isn't your thing, consider discussing CoQ10 supplementation with your doctor. A simple blood test can help to inform your next steps. And at number 1, we have berberine. Berberine is a natural compound extracted from several plants, including barberry and golden seal. It's been used in Chinese medicine for centuries, and modern research is just now catching up. Berberine is particularly useful for fighting type 2 diabetes and improving insulin function. And since diabetes often goes hand in hand with heart disease, it's worth a thought. For example, in one study, taking berberine daily lowered fasting blood sugar by 20% after just 3 months. That's impressive. For arteries, animal studies have shown that berberine can inhibit the formation of atherosclerotic plaques. Berberine works by activating an enzyme called AMP activated protein kinase, AMPK, which stimulates your metabolism. Some studies even suggest it may be as effective as medications like metformin, but its benefits don't stop there. Research indicates it can also aid weight loss, improve fatty liver disease, and potentially help with cancer, heart failure, and depression. Not bad for a humble plant extract. As always, consult your healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, especially if you're taking medication. The fact is, even natural compounds can have unexpected downsides in high doses, so it's always best to start with real food sources. For more on that, you might like to watch our other video on the top 7 foods to clean arteries and prevent heart attacks. I'll leave a link to that in the description box, or click the image on screen. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.